All right. Hey, Amy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, happy to I'm glad we can talk a little bit. We're starting like this is I think you're actually the second one to do this. The idea is to just we know that many float users are using it in many different ways for many different things, and so we thought we'll start opening it up and for us to learn a little bit about how people use float and what they need, what they're happy with, and so on, and just to get to know people personally, but also for other people just to kind of get a glimpse, maybe get some ideas and get to know each other as a community.
That's awesome. Oof.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and yeah, whatever you want to share.
Let my clock finish chiming here. It never fails. Right when I'm about to start a meeting, the clock goes off.
That's how life should be. That's
Yeah,
how things are
yeah.
are
Maybe
as
I'll just
always.
yeah. Maybe I'll just talk over it. So I recently got a diagnosis of mitochondrial disease. It's passed through the maternal line of my family. And unfortunately, there is no cure for mitochondrial disease. There is only management.
Right.
And most people within the diagnosis span that I get, unfortunately, pass away within 17 years post-diagnosis.
Wow.
Well, they said, well, that's great. You're already 50 years old. You've lived a great life. And I was like, well, that doesn't mean I want to push up daisies anytime soon. That's
Yeah.
not how that works. So I said, look, there's got to be other things outside of, take vitamins, think happy thoughts, eat cottage cheese. Have you tried yoga? All those suggestions. I said, I love yoga. I said, but there's got to be, and they talked about meditation and that being a very important thing, to calm and center you, especially when you're feeling anxious about your diagnosis or health conditions. And so I was like, well, that's great. I said, meditation sounds fantastic. So I tried meditating by myself, but I get distracted by shiny objects, and I have a teenage boy who runs through the house.
Very shiny object.
Yeah, so I wasn't doing too hot, and I was like, well, this is not great. So I looked into things like guided meditation, like the apps that they have on online, like Headspace has, you can do the meditation. So I was doing that. And once again, I found myself getting distracted because you put on your phone, all of a sudden there's a dog there that wants a snack and somebody, so I'd shut my office door and then, it still was pretty distracting because my mind would keep wandering and I didn't feel like I was very focused at this. My son talked a lot about using his VR device, and he loved the fact that it was immersive. And he said he felt like he lost himself in it. So I said, great, I'm going to borrow your VR device and see what I can come up with. So that's how I started finding meditation apps. I started out with Trip because that was one of the first ones introduced. And I liked it for a while and I was using it, but I found like it got very repetitive. They weren't adding a bunch of new features and people were giving them feedback about, this would be great if you did this or this. And they're kind of like, yeah, thanks for your feedback. And then they just kind of kept doing the same thing. And I liked it, but I was looking for different things to expand. So I was digging through the Meta app on my phone and you guys popped up, the Float VR. And I thought that sounds really intriguing. So I popped it on and you guys said it's free. And I was like, oh boy, that's even better.
It is
So
free.
yeah, it is free. So I put it on and I was like, I didn't know what to expect. And you guys had a really great intro on there. And it is mesmerizing. I tell you, you guys are probably the first app that I've sat down in. And I understand what my son is saying when you can genuinely get lost in time and just lost in the app. So, I mean, I have that headset on and I can have my office door open and it doesn't bother me. I'm not getting distracted by shiny objects.
Yeah.
And I found it much easier to make meditation part of a regular routine because even though, I use the relaxation float pretty much. I've done all the floats that you guys have had, but the relaxation one I keep going back to. And even though it's the same float, there's always an element of something different in there. So I'm
Right.
Like today, I saw giant moving rockfish or something. I wasn't quite sure what they were, but man, they were right up next to me, and it was really cool. And then 8 minutes was over. I'm like, man, I gotta go back again, catch those fish.
Yeah. I'm also having some beeps. Did you hear the beep at all?
No, I did not.
Okay. So yeah, so first of all, amazing story. I guess the thing I'm most curious about is how does meditation, like, so you said that the doctors or somebody recommended meditation. I was wondering how does that help the condition that you're suffering from?
It really helps relax. A lot of the time when you have chronic illness and your body goes into fight or flight mode and you live there, you live in that mode, and that's not healthy for you. It just is not. So I found that I've had to do lots of different things to take myself out and reset my nervous system. And this is one of the tools that I use to help reset and get out of the fight or flight. It also, when you're focused on your breathing and relaxing the pain, I mean, there's a lot of pain that goes with this as well. It doesn't go away. It's not a magic bullet, but it does help things tone down a little bit. And I also feel I'm homeschooling as well. I also feel after I'm done with a really good float session that I can really argue with my son who's in 12th grade why he needs to complete these papers so he can get ready for college in life. I don't go in there, guns blazing. I feel like I'm more relaxed and more calm and just able to get through the day. And sometimes at night when I'm wound up, I'll put float on again and just tone down so I'm ready to go to bed.
And you're just using the free version for now, as I understand it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can loop
Perfect.
and go back as many times as I want. Like I said, it's same some of the same things, but it's never the same thing twice. There's always a new element in there.
Perfect. And I think my other question as you were speaking was in terms of do you also add any spoken meditation, like guided meditation on top of float, or do you just do float?
I've done it both ways because when you added the guided meditation, I really was curious. So I was able to monkey around with that a little bit. And it's really nice to have some spoken meditation. And when I want silence, I just don't use the spoken.
Oh, so you mean the spoken
Yeah.
word within float?
Yeah.
You've never tried, for example, like a guided meditation, like just in your on your phone while you're in float, kind of thing.
No, I just use your guided meditations in there because if I have too much going on at once, that just distracts me. So I kind of like to keep it simple.
Perfect. Yeah, I guess also the guided meditation that exists in like the regular ones, the first thing they tell you is close your eyes, and then
Yeah,
it kind of negates the whole VR thing, I guess.
exactly.
Yeah. We've done some guided meditation that is built for float, like just specifically for, so it doesn't tell you to close your eyes, and instead it kind of uses the environment to do the guided meditation. Um, we had it for a while in Float Lab, and we're gonna bring it back. Also in the transform, there is some affirmations that could that could help. Like it's like a different um, type of spoken word. So you might, want to look into that as well, and I'll open it up for you, um, so you can look into it. Um, very interesting, very cool, and I'm like I'm so stoked. There is nothing that beats, like um, just something that we did. And my background is in animation and is in game design, and not in healthcare, right? We're working with a lot of healthcare advisors and so on, but the core team is a team of builders, and so like nothing beats really knowing that you're helping somebody, deal with something, right? It's like it's an amazing thing, and so I'm so thankful for you to that you let us know that this is happening. It fuels us our enthusiasm and conviction.
And it's nice. I've been able to talk about you guys in my chronic illness community saying, hey, if you have a headset, this is something you should try out.
Right. Um, yeah, we're now getting calls actually from like just recently in the last month or so, we've been getting more and more contacted with by from hospitals and clinics and so on to help people sort of relax before procedures or during procedures, even palliative care patients. There's a lot of stuff that float is good for that way. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Um, so um, tell me a little bit about what you would like to see in float.
Well, I mean, it's so fabulous already. So I think as you guys evolve, you're already putting some of these things in place. Like as people go more and more to float, more personalization of the journey as float begins to know me and my patterns, knowing that. Something that would be really cool is those animals that come up to me are almost like lifelike. I find myself reaching out to try to touch them, and of course, there's nothing there. It'd be really cool to build in that element where you could actually touch and get some sort of response from the thing you're touching.
Like maybe you're touching them and maybe they kind of change color or something that happens.
They change color, or you feel like some of those games you play, you could feel like your little joystick
Oh,
vibrating, whatever, just something like, because I mean, that rock thing was swimming right next to me. It was right up. And so I reached out, it was so realistic. I was like, I want to pet you. And then I was like, okay, well, then it's just going to go right through you.
right, right, right. Um, cool. Yeah, I mean that's definitely something that we've been wanting to do for a long time. Some of them do have some reaction, usually to gaze. In Imagine, which I know you said that you don't use that much. Um, in Imagine, there are a few creatures that they're kind of like they're kind of almost invisible, and then when you actually look at them, you kind of see some dots. When you look at them, they kind of materialize. So
They do. So yeah, I remember that from being in there. So
yeah,
it'd also be cool to do this with other viewers. I mean, maybe some people would want to float together, I mean, you don't have to necessarily have a conversation while you're doing it, but sometimes doing it together as a group activity is really
yeah.
powerful.
I completely agree. What we want to do eventually is to have I'm imagining some sort of a cool looking, colorful orb. Like I don't see it as an avatar with a face. It's like an orb, and maybe
Uh-huh.
when you speak or something, it kind of glows a little. But
Yeah,
it's a kind of abstract, and you just see, there's a dot of light over there, which is another person, you know.
that would be neat.
Yeah. We did, by the way, I don't know if you've been around during that time, but we used to do for a while something we called float together sessions where we basically turned on Zoom, but without the video, uh, put in the headset, and everybody would go to their own whatever they wanted to do, but we would have a conversation and even some guided float that Nathan Suds, who's one of the first users of float, and he's a meditation instructor as well as many other things. So he would do these guided meditations in float. This is how we got the idea on how to do it, and it was quite fun. It was pretty cool. It was a little bit confusing for people that they needed to do the sort of the Zoom and to kind of have an external thing,
Yeah.
but it was really cool.
That'd be something neat to try again. So
Yeah, I mean, sure. I can try and figure out who's in. It's always a bit of a thing to bring everybody.
oh yeah,
People don't have time. People are stressed out and so on. They forget.
for
But yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think I'd like to do it like on a kind of maybe like a monthly basis or something like that, just to get to know people.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I also wanted to touch on something with meditation and see how you think about that. Um, because one of the things that I'm sort of learning as we go is that even though float is feels like a meditation or mindfulness app. I recently learned that there is a bit of a difference, or actually like a huge difference in terms of meditation. Uh, like the act of meditation is an act of focus. So you
Mm.
actually have to work to focus, and you kind of have to hold the wheel of where the focus is. So it's like it's called directed focus or directed attention. Whereas with float, it's actually kind of the opposite. The idea is let go, don't touch the wheel, let your mind wander as it does, when you go out to nature. And in that way, actually, float is quite unique because it brings you to the point of meditation, to that state without but without the need to hold the wheel. Right? How would you agree with that, or how do you see it?
Absolutely. And I find it's easier in today's society. We spend so much time with screens and things like that. People have forgotten how to focus and how to meditate. I mean, I'm literally at Headspace, just doing little baby steps there on my own, trying to bring more personal quiet time and reflection to my journey. But this definitely, I like the fact I don't have to hold the wheel. My mind can wander, and it's okay because I'm still getting the same results.
Yeah. For me, I was never able to really meditate for more than 5 minutes. I got diagnosed with ADHD while we were building Float. I was like, there are so many people, so many of our users are saying that they have ADHD and that helps them. I better look into that. And sure enough, I got diagnosed. But so I wasn't able to do it because my brain just doesn't want to be controlled. It is a hard work for me to control the mind that way. Yeah, and it creates a lot of anxiety. So for me, just on a personal level, float was kind of came out of almost like unintentionally out of that sort of need that wasn't being met otherwise.
Absolutely. Oof.
Um, all right. So anything else that you would like to share? Anything you'd like to like something for the community? Um, yeah, anything else you'd like to add to this? Ask us, whatever.
I just think that it's a really unique and amazing app, and I think it's going to go places as it takes off more and more. So I'm excited to see what you guys add to it in the future.
Thank you. Yes, it's in that intro we
Mm.
say Float was designed to grow and evolve, and that's what we've been working on and doing. And there's a lot coming up actually. I know I've been saying it a lot, and it's true, but a lot is kind of in the machinery of the background stuff, but more creatures, which I know people are super excited about, and you were talking about that as well. And also more natural environments. We've been collaborating actually with some with the indigenous communities over here to create this sort of nature-like thing with indigenous elements and music. And I think that would be something that Float doesn't have yet. So
Be cool. Oof.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see how people react to that. So yeah, a lot is coming, and also on the technology side, there's quite a lot that's coming. So yeah, thank you for being with us on this wonderful journey.
Yes, and thank you for developing this. This has just been an amazing experience, and I'm excited to keep using Float.